some new things to it that you already know how to do. All right, so 6-1, solve inequality. What is an inequality? Yeah.
An equation with a greater than or equal to or less than or equal to.
Right. So if it's an equation, it has an equal sign. If it's an inequality, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's equal. If it has an equal bar underneath the greater than or less than symbol, would it be equal to, okay? All right, so solve inequalities using addition and subtraction. All right, so that's your section. So today's assignment is actually pretty simple because there isn't anything different about solving this type of inequality versus an equation. So, example 1. If I said x equals 10 and asked you to put that on a graph, you'd go out to 10 and put a dot. Correct? Right?
Yes.
Now, if I said x is greater than 10, you would go out to 10 on your graph. And what would you do? Nick?
You would put a circle that's not filled.
Yep. An open circle or an open dot that's not filled in because it's not equal to 10. That's how we graph that as a symbol. Leave the dot open. If it was equal to 10, we would color it in. Then what?
Then I draw a line going to the right.
Yeah, shade it to the right because it's saying that x represents all the numbers that are bigger than 10. Not 10, but bigger than 10. Alright, so that's example 1. That's understanding how to shade just on a typical number line.
If it's greater than or equal to, is it filled in?
Yes. If it has the equal sign bar underneath it, then you fill it in. Yes.
So when you're graphing these, can you like put like 10 in the middle and then kind of go out each direction and then instead of starting at
I would like to have the 0 on there. You don't have to do it with all these hash marks. Alright, so if you have a 0 and then put a slash and 10 underneath it, that'd be alright. But if it's like 3, then put the hash marks in. But I would like to have the 0 because that makes me understand that you know which side we're actually shading on, where 0 is at compared to your number. Okay? So make sure you put 0 in there somewhere. All right, example 2. Solve and graph. So here it comes down to what we've been doing with typical equations. Negative 8 is less than or equal to 8 plus y. So we are solving for y, and you treat it exactly the same way as if you had an equal sign. Yes?
y equals negative 16. Or y
What do I do?
equals,
What's the first step?
you could subtract 8.
Yes, subtract 8 on both sides.
Then be equal.
Yeah. So, how do you read this? This is why I put this up here. Then,
Negative 16 is less than or greater than 1.
less than or equal to.
Oh, equal to.
Less than or equal to all of these. Negative 16 is less than or equal to all of these numbers. That's what that is. Now, we typically like to have our variables on the left side. Yes?
I was just going to say, can you flip it the other way?
And you flip it. You flip everything around. So all of these numbers are bigger than or equal to negative 16. That's how you should write it, with your variables on the left. Okay? All right, and then you're supposed to graph it. So here we'll do what you guys were talking about. Put a 0 here, negative 16 here. It doesn't have to be that big of a gap. Greater than or equal to. So it has the equal sign mark, so I'm going to color it in. And greater than means I'm shading to the right. How's that? Example 3. minus 1.92 is greater than negative 8.76. How do I solve? Kaylee, how do I solve it? Yep, add 1.92 to both sides. And what do you get? I'm not very bright. I need somebody to tell me what that is.
-6.84.
Yep. Negative 6.84. Huh. How do I graph that? Don't put a hash mark and call it negative 6.84.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hash marks,
Okay.
and then you put it 4/5 the way in between.
So it's about right here, an open circle. It's greater than, so we shade it to the right.
Can't we just make a -6 and -7? Or-
Yeah, negative 6 and negative 7, that'd be all right.
Alright.
But remember, the more accurate you can be, the more proper you can be, the better it is for the person reading your material. Okay? That goes for everything. Any questions so far? Was that easy?
Yeah.
Good. Your assignment.
Oh.
That's all there is to it. Page 359, 4 to 28 evens, and the mixed review evens. Read your instructions, all of them.